Yes, people, welcome back to another stream. We got breaking news, guys. Bomba news dropping, and there's only one top for it. I'm kind of disappointed Nobbins hasn't got. Have you got an Algeria top?
No, I think the only Africa top I have is Nigeria, I'm afraid.
We're rivals.
Crazy. I can go change if you want, but I don't know if it fits the vibe.
No, probably doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on, guys. 1, 2, 3. Repeat after me, chat. 1, 2, 3. Viva Algeria. Come on, chat. 1, 2, 3. Viva Algeria. 1, 2, 3. Viva Algeria. Sit here going Algerian again. Come on, Brian. Smash the likes up, man. Get the likes up. Over 300 people in here already. Manchester City are going Algerian once again. Yeah, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys smash the likes. Lots to speak about. We'll start off, obviously, with the Ait-Nouri news. We need to speak about Matteo Kovacic. Is he going to be the guy that's staying out of the old guys? Because now he's injured. So you're going to struggle to sell him. And Turkey. Me and Nobbins haven't had a conversation yet about Turkey. Obviously, the news dropped late last week. So we'll have a chat about that as well. But yeah, man, I'm buzzing with this news, mate. Like, Ait-Nouri. Let me just get it up on screen so people actually know what we're talking about. That would probably help. My bad. Where is it? Here we go. Smash this up on screen. So this broke like literally 3 minutes before we went live. So big up. David Ornstein. Breaking news. Manchester City are pursuing a deal to sign Wolves left back Rayan Ait-Nouri. Agreements still need to be reached between the clubs and with the player. However, all parties, look at this, guys. Key wording here. All parties now expect a move to happen. And to be honest with you, chat, this should be a deal that is relatively straightforward to do. He's got 2 years on his contract if you include his 1 year contract extension that they have available. So only 2 years. It's not going to be mega money. I would assume it's somewhere in the region of 40 to 50 million at the top end, but I reckon probably closer to 40. So this should be a deal that's easy to do. The wages shouldn't be a problem either. And check this out as well. Fabrizio's just tweeted this. Man City and Ait-Nouri deal on.
Big.
Oh yeah, bro, we're getting a left back at the football club.
Woo! Woo! Get in. Let's just hope it doesn't get injured like the last one we signed, and then that'll be a good time. Yeah, brilliant stuff. It's exactly what we need. He's already a good player in a vacuum, but he's even more crucial for City because of what he unlocks around him, specifically the notion of like him and Marmoush being our nominal left side is incredibly exciting. We all know that we want Marmoush to start off the left, but then drift inside. Ait-Nouri is the perfect player to facilitate that. He raises the technical floor of the entire squad. He raises the pace and energy levels as well. He is just a very optimal signing for City, given what we need right now at this moment. It's a very good deal, and for the money that's being quoted as well, it's pretty optimal, and it's definitely a step in the right direction for City. It's how we wanted this transfer window to go so far. We're being linked with names that we wanted, and we're being linked with positions that we needed desperately. This is pretty optimal and pretty spot on. I'm genuinely I'm normally got a track record of being quite down on signings of late. I'm quite happy with this one. This is a really good signing for City.
Yeah, bro. We needed honestly, man, we need to be getting this thing cooking. You know what I mean? And this left back situation, right back situation, these full backs are so important. Yeah. To this rebuild, we got to get these fullbacks in, and we got to get fullbacks that can put a cross in the box, can help with the creativity side of the game. And we spoke about this so much, and like it's so important, and still an area of our game that we need to improve. And for what I've seen from Ait-Nouri, I think this guy has serious potential in this Manchester City team. Yeah, I think the technical ability that this guy's got. Yeah, I think Pep's gonna love him. He can go infield, he can go down the wing and get crosses in. Right, I've seen a lot of this stuff, and I look at the type of player, look at the profile of the player. I'm thinking, right, this guy's 23 years old. Yeah, this guy's 23 years old. He's already doing it now for Wolves at a very good level. Yeah, let's not say world class. Yeah, it's not world class level yet, but at a good level. And I think coming to Manchester City, playing with better players, playing with a better manager, I think this guy has the potential that within 2 years we could have a legitimately world class left back with us. You know what I mean? And these are the level raisers, man. These are the level raisers, and it improves the quality of the squad. So for me, I'm buzzing with this. You know, I think this is legitimately a class move. And I've still see a few people in the chat, not too many. I've seen a couple of people still questioning his defensive attributes. Again, I don't know too much about that. Yeah, I'm only seeing, like on the ball abilities, crossing and that. I've seen a couple clips of him against Salah, and he didn't look too bad there, lads. I'll be real with you. But for me, I don't think the club would be signing a left back if they thought he was absolutely crap at defending. Yeah, that's my opinion, innit? So. Yeah, this is great news. Shout out Craig in the chat as well, saying it's probably going to be about 42 million quid. I think that represents good value for money, man. I really, really do. So, yeah, this is cracking news. And if we can get him in, Ryan Cherky, and then Tijani Reinders in before the Club World Cup. Obviously, we've got 8 days left to complete these signings. We can go to that tournament then with a little bit of excitement and be like, "Yo, come on, man." So this is top news, man. This is really top news, man. I can't lie.
Yeah, definitely. I released a member-only video last week, just going through some of his stats. So I've got some interesting data that we might want to just have a very quick chat about. If you'd like to hear it, I won't go through all of it because I understand that data is not always the best tool to analyze defenders because it's often about system. But certainly, I mean, you touched on other defensive issues. Let's just firstly touch on the offensive work. Because we know that we've had a bit of a left-back offensive chasm of late. Again, no disrespect to Kovacic, of course. He's done a very good job there, but he's not necessarily that sort of player. So he ranks, where is he? He ranks 4th for total volume of offensive duels per 90. This is based off like the last season of the Premier League. He's a dribbly boy, ranks number 7. Progressive runs, we know we need.
Sorry, is this Premier League only? These like ranking systems, or is
yes,
this all right?
Yes, this is players ranking for the last Premier League compared to other wing backs. Apologies,
okay,
and full backs to be fair. So Cavacio's in here, Amad Diallo's in here as well because he's technically been playing there as well. 5th for goals compared to wing backs. 2nd for assists, he's got 7, and it's not like he's been massively overperforming. Like he had 5 expected assists there, so it's about we'd expect. We know that we need more of that. What I didn't actually realize, he's a bit of a shooter as well. So he's 6th for total shots as well. And you and I have discussed many times how we need more shooters in this squad. Ait-Nouri surprisingly can provide that a little bit. And again, I know that defensive stats aren't the best for defenders because it does depend on system. However, he is winning over 65% of his defensive duels, which puts him way above the average in the Premier League. Now, again, that's the difference between a wing back and a full back. But just based on that data alone, that suggests that he isn't a bad defender by any means. He hardly loses the ball in dangerous areas either. Dangerous losses per 90, we're looking at less than 0.3. That puts him way towards the lower end of that spectrum. So all of the data points that we might find interesting as City fans for our needs are pretty good, I would suggest, on an external, off the surface perspective. So exciting. I think it's fair to say, very exciting.
Yeah. So big up Itchy Goat. So does that mean, he is above average defensively? Like,
based on that one very specific metric in a different system, caveats. But yes, I think it's being overblown that he's based on our eyes, he's not a bad defender at all. Is he as good as Nathan Ake? No. But that would be an unreasonable thing to say. Though, it's not a liability, is what I want to say.
Yeah,
it's not a liability.
And here's the thing, you still got Nathan Ake at the football club.
Yes.
So people need to chill. Yeah, if it turns out that maybe, he's not the best defender in the world, and then you want to be playing, you're playing Liverpool, Anfield, or you're playing, Real Madrid or Barcelona or PSG, and maybe you're a little bit, I don't know here, play fucking Ake left back in that game. This is the whole point of having a squad. People have been begging for a squad for time. We're finally getting a squad with 2 left backs available in Ait-Nouri and Ake, who are different types of left backs. And now people are like, some people are shitting on Ait-Nouri's defensive work. I'm like, bro, this is what you need. You need two different types of fullbacks. We got Ait-Nouri, who's the techie baller, can go forward, hit the line, get crosses in, inverting, blah, 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 get goals, get assists. And then you want a more solid, you want to go in at one game. Yeah, maybe we need a point to win the Premier League last day of the season. Maybe you go, okay. Like, I don't get this people, man. People always try to be like extreme. I don't get it, man. I don't really understand what's happening. What are people saying for Fabrizio?
Is that the thing that you put up earlier where he reacted to it or something?
Yeah, I've already done this, guys. Oh, wait, what? Oh, shit. There's more news. The main targets for Manchester City at fullback positions remain Tino Livramento and Rayan Ait-Nouri.
Good. That is, I mean, I don't know if we're going to talk about it more. I did a stream the other day, and the title of the stream was something like analyzing Man City's homegrown problem, or something like that. If we sign Ait-Nouri and Reinders and Cherki, who we are linked with all of them, then we have the maximum amount of non-homegrown players at the football club. Now, of course, we can sell players, but we'll have 17 out of 17 if we bring all three of them in. So that means that we would have to sign a homegrown right back in that scenario. Even if we move on, all three of Bernardo, Kova, and Gundogan, we're still walking that tightrope incredibly closely. It means we can't bring in any other options if we did want to. And there's the added factor of next year, Savio and Kusanov are going to go from, as far as the Premier League rules are concerned, they're going to go from under 21 options, therefore not relevant for non-homegrown purposes, to non-homegrown players.
Non-homegrown players, yeah.
So even if we make it so, oh yeah, we've got like a couple gaps left, that's fine. They're going to get filled next year as well. So the fact that we're bringing in, like three non-homegrown options suggests that Livramento is even more of a mandatory target for City, and that would be a huge weight off City's homegrown quota shoulders, because obviously he is homegrown. That would be lovely if it can happen. He'd be my number one choice anyway. By the way, the fact that he's homegrown is like
Livramento would be your number one choice.
Yeah, definitely. But the fact that he's homegrown is another added bonus, and that's just for the Premier League rules. And we know the Champions League rules are even harsher because they don't even make a distinction between the under 21s. So especially if we're not even getting Morgan Gibbs-White this year, I don't know if that's still relevant or not.
No, that seems to have died off, man. I can't lie. Because I think City believe they can get away or whatever. Like, they think that the midfield that we're going to get, of like, if we say go into the next season, Rodri, Nico G, Tijani Reinders, Kovacic looks like he's probably going to be staying now as well. We'll speak about that in a bit. Cherki, I'll speak about that in a bit, and Foden. I think they feel, and then you've got the youngsters like Nico Riley, Bob, and all that kind of shit. I feel like they think that's enough. Now, I think it's a bit of a risk, but besides the point, I think that they think that's enough. So, and remember as well, right? City were probably willing to spend 100 million on Wirtz. They're not doing that anymore. They're spending 35 million, on Cherki. Now, I ask this, and again, it's just theory, I ask you this question. Is there any coincidence that since they pulled out of the deal for Wirtz, or got rejected, whatever way you want to phrase it, the Wesley news seems to have died, and the Tino Livramento news seems to be picking up pace? I think the theory was, they was going to get Wirtz, and I think they were going to get Morgan Gibbs-White. Right, that's what I think they were going to do. I think now, because they're not getting Wirtz, they're getting Cherki as the backup. They've decided that they no longer need Gibbs-White for whatever reason. They've got money available, so they drop in the signing of Wesley and that homegrown position instead of going towards Wesley. I think they're looking at Tino Livramento. Now, the question is, will Newcastle sell Livramento? Because they obviously don't want to, and I don't think they really need to. But I think City would be prepared to spend a lot more money than maybe some people think. I think City could go 70, 75 million on Livramento. I really think that they'd be prepared to do that. He's 22. You're going to have him for the next 10 years. Yeah, is a very, very solid right back. He's very Walker-esque in terms of his defensive abilities. Obviously, different on the ball qualities and all that kind of shit. Yeah, but I think they're going to be prepared to go big on Livramento. I really, really do, and I think there's no coincidence that since we pulled out of Verts, that news has picked up. Gibbs White's sort of dying a little bit, and so's the Wesley news, and I think that's what might have happened.
Yeah, if that is the choice that's been made, then I do. I'm not just saying it because we're in that scenario. I do prefer the scenario, the second rather than the first. I prefer this one without Verts than the one with Verts, to be honest. I think that one of my biggest concerns about the Verts signing, and why I was never truly big on it and never made a big noise about it, really was because I was concerned about resource allocation and what it would mean to other positions on the pitch that I think were more mandatory and more essential. So if that is the case, and Shirky coming in allows for us to spend that additional money in other areas, if that is indeed the case, as you are suggesting, then I think that is the correct decision. Absolutely. A right back, in my view, is a lot more important than this attacking midfielder, because we don't really have a right back at the club. Our best right back is a midfielder who can't get a run in the midfield because he's not good enough there. So if that extra money can go to Livramento, I'm all for it. And we'd have to do it as well, because if we're thinking that Walker cost 50 million 8 years ago, then saying that Livramento is going to cost, I know different players, whatever, not as good maybe, but Livramento for around 70 plus is perfectly reasonable from a football inflation perspective. I would much rather spend the money there, and it would make a lot of sense. And if we can do that,
Can you imagine like our starting 11 next year compared to some of the starting 11s we put out this year? I've just deeped it, right?
Yes, going to mean wholesale changes. Yeah,
bro, it's going to be spooky work, you know.
Yeah, probably
Like,
maybe new goalkeeper.
Yeah, an actual left back,
an actual left
right
back. Hopefully, an actual right back. Rodri going back into the side.
Tijani Reinders.
Reinders, Shirky. We're looking at, because these are all starting players that we're signing here, aren't they? Marmoush from the start as well. You know, we're looking at over half of the personnel being totally different to what we saw, certainly towards the back end of the season as well, where we were far more reliant, or Pep felt he had to be reliant on the old guard: Bernardo, Kova, Gundo, Kevin De Bruyne. Hopefully that they will all be moved out of the starting teams, maybe moved on entirely. And yeah, it will be should be hopefully a totally new look side. And it needs to be a totally new look side if we want to go about and win the Premier League. Of course, there's still some players there, but yeah, we are looking at if all goes well, a borderline brand new starting 11. Certainly in respect of the first choices. Of course, we'll still see some familiar players around the squad. But yeah, you're right. Goalkeeper, left back, right back, Reinders, Rodri, Shirky, maybe someone else, who knows? Yeah, it's hopefully we're going about this transfer window the right way. It should hopefully be a very exciting year next year. And we need to do this to get back to where we want to be.
100%. Like I've said all along, like we can't be doing no half-assed rebuild, man. Yeah, we need to do the rebuild properly, and we need to do it with quality. Yeah, and if you think that we can get away with doing a half-assed rebuild, yeah, you'll be fucking gutted when we get to November and we're out of the title race already, man. So this for me is good. They got Lee James here, yeah, he's a Wolves fan. Rayan Ait-Nouri can defend if given the role to do so, such as when we play Liverpool, etc. Defensively, he's all right. Linked up brilliant with Cunha, i.e. good passing and move with class players. Bro, like, listen, I can only say, what I've seen. And what I've seen is when I've done Wolves watch-alongs, i.e. when he's played City, and maybe I might have watched you when you've played like Liverpool or whatever. I've never come away from a Wolves game, going, he's a crap defender.
Yeah, he's a liability.
I've also seen a compilation of him defending against Salah. Yeah, funny enough, you mentioned Liverpool. Someone did him defending against Salah, and he looks very, very, very good. Yeah. So I just think people are going extreme. He's a good going forward, so he must be crap defensive. I don't think that's the case as well. We've got a Wolves fan in the chat here, guys, who's saying that's not the case. So I'd just bin that. that opinion that he's a crap defender. I think it's fake news, to be honest with you. There's also a comment here from Ali. Big up Ali, says, LB, I come to super chats in a sec chat, yeah. LB, don't you think it's too much change? No, absolutely not. I have always been of the opinion this summer that we need to rip the bandage off. Yeah, fucking rip it off and get the players out that are no longer good enough or can't offer us high quality performances on a consistent basis and get the new players in. I'd much rather do this, yeah, and have 3 or 4 months of bedding new players in, start quite cooking, and then second half of the season, we're ready to go, yeah, rather than get into sort of January going, yeah, we're just not good enough again. Oh, we'll go into the summer and we'll complete the rebuild. What's the point, man? What's the point? Yeah? Get rid of the players that can't do it no more. Get new players in that can do it. Yeah, and if we have to deal with 2 or 3 months of Ait-Nouri, try to learn the system, couple of dodgy performances because he's learning the system, same with Cherky, yeah, same with Tino, same with whoever, then I'd much rather do that. I'm all in, I'm all out, me. I'm not one of these people that are like a bit in, bit out, yeah. Fucking dive straight in, yeah, and start the process, yeah, and deal with whatever fucking pain you get in the initial phase, yeah, or just don't do it all, man. So for me, nah, I'm not of the opinion that we should half-ass it. Get in, do it properly, mate. Yeah, deal with whatever snagging issues you get at the start.
Yeah, definitely. It needs doing. We've also already embedded a lot of these, a few of these players like Marmoush in Jan, for example. It's not like we're signing project players either. Like we're looking at players to come in immediately and just be that player who can take responsibility and who can just start immediately. I think we're going to have a familiar centre back pairing. That's normally a problem area that you don't want changing, but we're going to have a familiar one next year that has been built this year with Gvardiol and Diaz. So that's a good thing. Rodri coming back, whilst he is technically a new player based on last season, he is still an experienced City player. So him coming back, that's going to allow for like what we know City to be. That's not really a change strictly. And we also saw how much how these players that came in, 17, 18 was it? A lot of starters came in that year, and we seem to do pretty good. Like we got 100 points. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but a fair few starters came in 17, 18, and we were all good in similar positions as well. Actually, like goal position we're talking about, like goalkeeper, fullback, a midfielder, and whatnot. So I don't think it's too much of a change at all. And if anything, it's the reverse. We need a lot of changes. It's not like we're going from a really successful starting 11 to and doing a massive risk here. Like we have to make these changes, and we've got to go big. We've got to go now. I don't agree with this idea that City can't challenge for the title. City can't win the title next. I want us to win the title next season. If all these players come in, I'll be predicting City to win the title. The sort of like lineups I've been able to create in my head, the starting lineups, is a side that's good enough to win the Premier League. So if we're bringing all these lads, I will be not expecting is not the right word, but predicting City to win the title. There's no reason why we can't do it based on the players.
Facts. I'm with you, bro. I'm 100%, bro. I'm not fucking sitting here watching my team spend 175 in January and go out and spend another 200 to 300 million this summer to go second decent. Nah, bro. Like I'm not on that, mate. I'm like, go and fucking win this league again, boys. You know what I mean? Go compete, man. And like I say, yeah, we finished third. Now LB said we're miles off it. Yeah, we were miles off it. But when you get Rodri back, Foden back, Cherky, Ait-Nouri, Livramento, all of a sudden you're not miles off it. That's what I'm saying. This is the point I'm making, bro. Like we can't be making excuses. Like we're ready to go and do it again. We finished third this year with no Rodri, Ballon d'Or winner. Yeah, Foden, like running in limp mode. Yeah, like no real creativity. An old midfield. Yeah, a Haaland which has been starved of chances, no fullbacks, and a goalkeeper that's heads in Saudi Arabia. And people are expecting me to believe that we can't go and win the league next year. Nah, no way, man. Yeah, people need to forget the last season is done, boys. It's finished. Yeah, get your chest out, man. Time to get the chest out. Honestly. Anyway, let me do these super chats. Guys, smash these likes up if you've not done so already, man. Get these likes up in it. How many people we got in? 1.2k in the building. Yeah, big up to everybody that's locked in. Shout out to all the Algerians that have just that are in the building, man. They've clocked the Algerian shit. Come on. It's Mahrez. Yeah.
Wait, that's cold.
Yeah, maybe we need to buy a new one in it with Ryan Cherky on the back. Or we'll just get Ryan on the back in it, and then people can decide which one it is. But anyway, yeah.
Does he not? Does he not represent the French national team?
Yeah, nah, Ryan Cherky does, but people was telling me that like he's got that. I think he's got Algerian parents.
Oh yeah, he's definitely got an ancestry, yeah, but like a heritage. Sorry, but I think that he plays for France, and I think he got called up for the French.
Yeah, no, he has been picked for France. He's in the France squad actually.
Okay,
Cherky, but he is like half Algerian or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that works.
All right, let me do these super chats. Big up Tricks Bray. Says Algerian FC, stand up. Oh, come on. 1, 2, 3, Viva Algerie. Yeah, big up Tricks. Big up Pat says, I'll say it again. 1, 2, 3, Viva Ait-Nouri. Come on, bro. Yeah, big up Pat, man. Big up MCFC says, oh, Hugo Viana. Oh, Hugo, come on, bro. He says, by the way, did you see Donnarumma quotes this morning? I've not seen the Donnarumma quotes this morning. I saw the story yesterday from Di Marzio and Fabrizio Romano. But no, I've not seen the Donnarumma quotes. Whack it in the chat, bro. Let me know where they are. I'll pull them up. I'll pull up. Now, big up, bro. Big up Jarvis says, Hugo, I wasn't familiar with your game. Bro, it kind of annoys me that some City fans were out here cussing on Viana like 2 weeks ago, last week. Like, bro, the transfer window hadn't even opened and people was cooking Viana, bro.
Who's having a go? What?
Like, people need to chill out, man. You know what I mean? The transfer window's not even open. Oi, we're about to get, Cherky, Ait-Nouri, and Tijani Reinders in the next 8 days before the Club World Cup. I don't think Livramento gets done before this tournament. I'd be surprised if that
will be a lot harder.
That'll be a lot harder. And obviously, Fabrizio said it himself. He said this is going to be harder because obviously they don't even want to sell. And he might not even want to leave, man. Bro, I look at Newcastle.
That's the one for me.
Yeah, I look at Newcastle, bro. I'm looking at their players. I've never seen such happy players in my life. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what they're doing up there, but like all the players just look buzzing. So yeah, I think it's gonna be tough to get him out of there. The good news, he's only been there a year or two, innit? So he might not fully have bedded into the Toon life. That's what we got home, man. Yeah, big up Jarvis, bro. Big up Chicks again says, how funny would it be if the Verts deal fell through? Yeah, that would be pretty mad. I've seen that they've rejected another bid of 120 or something, and they're remaining firm that they want 150. So pay up, man. You got to pay up, lads. You know what I mean, Liverpool, if you want a player, but I'm sure they'll get it done. Big up LB says Ait-Nouri has better defensive stats than Kirkes. He has the graphic that I seen. He has better stats than Kirkes on pretty much everything. But yeah, you use different websites. Different websites give you different data. So yeah, a bit weird, man. But I think Ait-Nouri is the better fit for us. Yeah, Liverpool fans can decide if Kirkes is the better fit for them, whatever. But I think without question, I think Ait-Nouri is a better fit for us than Kirkes, if I'm being honest. I think Kirkes is more Kolarov-esque style. And, you know, that would be good, getting Kirkes just whipping crosses into Haaland. But I feel with Ait-Nouri, you got a little bit more, you got a more technical player, in my opinion, a player that can come inside. Like, I don't really think Kirkes will do that inside job, like inverting into midfield, anywhere near as good as Ait-Nouri. And I think Ait-Nouri can still get down the line and whip crosses in as well. So, yeah, if Liverpool fans think Kirkes is better than whatever. But for us, yeah, which I'm more focused on right now, Ait-Nouri for me is miles better for us than Kirkes would be. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Kirkes is a more simplified fullback. That's not an insult, by the way. That's just a reality. He's better suited to Liverpool. Ait-Nouri is better suited to us. It all makes sense.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, here's the quotes. After the Champions League final, Donnarumma hinted he could leave the club, telling reporters, I don't know if I'll stay. We'll see in the next few days. Right now, I'm thinking about the national team. That's weird, bro. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll have to see, innit? I still would be surprised if we move for someone like Donnarumma over someone like Acosta. I would be surprised, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in the next couple of days. But then it's a pay up, man. Shout out Chris says, I need goals, assists, flicks, nutmegs, Rabona. Bring, says Chris. Bro, I'm telling you, man, we're entering our vibe era, bro. He also says, Nunes can play some cup games in midfield. Like, nah, he's not going to play cup games in midfield, bro. He's not going to play cup games in midfield. He's going to be right back and left wing or right wing. He's not playing in midfield, bro. Not even in cup games. Not when you've got Nico G. Not when you've got Nico O'Reilly. Not when you've got Foden. Not when you've got all these Bobs and that. I personally don't see it at all, Chris, that Nunes will play in midfield. I think Pep just doesn't rate him in midfield, bro. But I definitely keep him for right back and emergency winger. Definitely. But yeah, I'd be surprised if he gets game time in midfield. But big up to you, bro. Big up to Ash says, names to throw out there. Homegrown, Archie Gray, Spurs. Pep said to have wanted him before he went to Spurs. He can play multiple positions. They want Grealish. You know what, as well? I did see, apparently, City were in for him. He chose Spurs because he wanted game time.
Clever. Yeah.
So
good for him.
Yeah.
He's not going to get game time at City, so that makes sense. Clever move.
Yeah. I don't know, really. I don't probably. I'm not on that one, Ash. If it's me, yeah. Like he's played a lot in defence this year for Spurs. He ain't going to be playing defence for us next year because we've got our defence sorted. If we get Livramento, we get Ait-Nouri. And midfield, like, where's he going to play there as well? So yeah, I think this is probably one pre-rebuild, but now we're mid rebuild. I don't think I see any spot for him. I think he should just stay at Spurs, man, and keep playing football. I think that's the best thing for him to do. Run his contract down, keep playing at Spurs, and then leave on a free transfer. There you go. I should be an agent, man. Do you know what I mean? I legit should be an agent. Yeah. That fucking Amad Diallo, yeah, only got 100 grand a week at United.
Loser.
I would have had him on 250k a week, easy, mate. Yeah, I'd have walked in that. Bro, he had 1 year left on his contract, right? And he signed 100 grand a week deal. Is he stupid, mate? I would have walked in that boardroom and said, listen, mate, yeah, he's your best player. He's got 1 year left on a contract. Yeah, you're 16th in the league. And if he leaves on a free, you're all going to get cooked from the fan base. 250k a week, otherwise he's walking at Man City, mate. That's what I would have said. I would have said he's going Man City on a free.
Yeah, sign on the dotted line right now.
Yeah. I would have got my client the best deal. Whoever his agent is, yeah, I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
But you did a terrible, terrible, terrible job.
Negligent.
Terrible job. Honestly, man. Yeah, crazy. Built to Evan says, can you do a potential squad build and XI? Potentially, bro. If we've got time, we'll definitely run one, bro.
Go to my Twitter.
Go to Nobbins' Twitter. He's already done one. Nobbins already done one on his Twitter. And I brought it up loads of times over the last couple of days on stream, bro.
Cute.
But yeah, big up to Kujinda. Says, how many new players can we see in club? I think 3. I think it'll be Ait-Nouri, Cherky, Reinders. Agreed?
Yeah, that'd be reasonable, wouldn't it?
I think anybody else would be after. And big up Henry as well. So I told you and Hugh that Rihanna was handsome and sexy. I mean, I don't know what to say, mate, but big up to you, bro.
He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Mate. Anyway, smash these likes up, chat, if you've not done so already. There has been a bit of news as well about Matteo Kovacic. I think he might be staying, lads, because he's out for 3 months. And unless a team's willing to sign him, when he's out for 3 months, he's probably going to be staying, to be honest with you.
What's he done?
Let's see, I should have tweeted it before. So he's asked to have an operation. Statement. Man City can confirm Kovacic has undergone surgery on an Achilles injury. The Croatian midfield is set to miss the Club World Cup. He'll spend the summer rehabilitating from the operation, and then non-Manchester City have said that it's going to be 3 months. So he's out for 3 months apparently.
I wonder when he's going to be staying.
Huh?
I wonder when he picked that up, that injury.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, he was out for the rest of this. Did he play against Fulham? I don't think he did he? He was out for the last 2 games of the season, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah,
and
he got suspended, didn't he? He got suspended because he got red carded.
Yeah, he did. He got suspended against was it Bournemouth?
Yeah, Bournemouth. Yeah.
And then he didn't play the FA Cup final, did he?
Oh no, he missed the FA Cup final. Came back for Bournemouth, got red carded.
Right. Oh, weird then. Yeah, but he might be staying then by the looks of it, bro.
Okay.
He might be staying it. But let me ask you a question, right? If these actual DMs work, yeah, because Twitter's dead nowadays. I want to ask you about that midfield because I was asking the chat yesterday, right? And I was speaking to Steve and I was speaking to Tarek and that about our midfield because I want to know, yeah. Do you think here we go? Let me bring this up. Open new image. Right. Here we go. Do you think we've got enough players in that midfield, right? If we do not sign Morgan Gibbs
Phil Casso.
What do you reckon?
It's a great graphic. Big up Phil Casso.
It is a mega graphic, bro.
Sorry, I was too busy. It's very pretty. What was the question? Do we have enough bodies in midfield?
If we don't, yeah, because do you think that we're moving on from Gibbs White? Do you agree? Do you think we're moving on? Or looking likely at the moment?
I'm not. I was going to say something as if I knew anything, which I don't. I don't really get why we would move on, because I don't see it as an either or for him and Shirky, or him and Verts. I see Gibbs White as more of an overall player who can play sort of anywhere. I wouldn't start him anyway. So I'd still like to bring in Gibbs White in addition to Reinders, in addition to Shirky. I think Shirky's price actually makes it so a more reasonable proposition as well. Because what would our midfield be then? We'd have Rodri and we'd have Nico G. He'd probably want to be playing in like sort of like a more defensive minded position. You've got Reinders.
Yeah.
If we bring him in, I'm using this graphic. So are we bringing in Gibbs White as well?
No, I'm saying Gibbs White ain't coming, because I think it's gone quiet, bro.
Okay, that's fine. So who are we keeping then in your head from Gundogan, Bernardo, Kova? Are we keeping Kova, you think, because of this injury?
Well, potentially we look like we might be keeping Kovacic because of this injury, but you can still sell a player.
Okay, well, let's, for argument's sake, let's say we're selling Bernardo and Gundogan there. So that you've got Foden, you've got Shirky, and we can throw in Bob there as well, even though he's probably going to be playing more of a wide player. So maybe I won't throw him in there. So that's 6 names, 2 of which you'd say probably more offensive-minded overall. The other 4 are more sort of either 6-8s or 8-10s. Even though I think that some of those other players could also be involved in that. These are more like overall players. Is that enough?
I think you need Gibbs White or a player like Gibbs White in there, because, like I said yesterday, chatting it, and this is my view, bro. I think we actually need either Gibbs White or someone in that sort of profile, because I think without him, I think 2 injuries, which is very possible. Don't act like it's not possible. It is possible. Yeah, 2 injuries, one to a Rodrigo, Reinders, or Nico G. Yeah, and then another to a Foden or a Cherky. And I think your squad straight away is under pressure, bro. And the problem is, I know we might be keeping Kovacic. He solves the issue of your bottom 2, the Reinders and Rodrigo and Nico. That's that. But he doesn't solve your issue with the top 3, which is why a player like Gibbs White would work, because Gibbs White can play in that bottom 2 next to Rodrigo and be like a bit of a box-to-box. Rodri sits, he can get up. But he also can play in the front 3 if you need him to. Kovacic can't play in the front 3. So whilst Kovacic, solves your issue and squad depth in the bottom 2, he doesn't solve it at all in the top 3 for me. So I still think the club, needs to sign on top of Cherky, on top of Reinders, and on top of obviously Ait-Nouri or whatever. I still think they need to sign another midfielder, and I think that midfielder needs to be a midfielder in the profile of Gibbs White, who can play in that bottom position and play in the top. And there's so much. Don't worry about minutes, man. I see a couple of people say there's no minute. They're going to be sat on the bench. Bro, that's not true, man. There's so many minutes to go around here. We play 2 games a week. Yeah, we need to learn about the Rodri situation. We need to move him on. And if you've got players like Gibbs White who are versatile, who can play in that bottom 2 and in the top 3, there's loads of minutes to go around, man. Loads. So, I just have a concern that if they are pulling out of the deal to sign Gibbs White, I'd just be a little cautious. If you think that's enough, 1 or 2 injuries, and I think you'll be going, damn. And Ederson, exactly. The guy Ederson, he doesn't solve the issue. He's the same as signing Kovacic. Yeah, he's good for the bottom 2. He ain't good enough for me to get in that front 3. You need a player that can do a bit of both. And to be fair, as much as like a lot of people moan about it and that, Gibbs White is that guy. Now, O'Reilly, as Red Dragon says, O'Reilly can do that, in my opinion. I think he could be that player. But is Pep going to trust him? I need Pep to trust that guy to do the role. I think O'Reilly definitely could play next to Rodri as a pivot and hold a 2-man or go forward. Yeah, and he could also play in that front 3 for me. O'Reilly did it loads of times in the academy, but I need Pep to trust him. How many times has Pep played him in midfield this season? Once. Against Spurs away, wasn't it? So I need him to trust him. If he's willing to trust him, cool. Don't sign Gibbs White and have him there. But it's all about trust. I'm just saying it because it's a bit of a cautious thing, because it looks all rosy. You get a couple injuries, which we all know will happen, and all of a sudden we're sitting here doing player ratings, predicted 11s, and we've got Kovacic playing at attacking midfield, boys. Bear it in mind.
Yeah, I think I agree. Yes. It's also good because again, Gibbs White can play in so many areas. He could play alongside Rodri. He could play as more of an 8. He could play as more of a 10. He can even play on the right as well. Again, when it was first announced, I wasn't particularly thrilled or excited by the signing, but to me, it now makes a lot more sense when we're still bringing in all these other players as well, if that were the case. And I would say that starting lineup that Phil Casso put out, I'd be quite comfortable in saying that does win the Premier League as well. I think the setup is also very nice as well, by the way. So shout out to him because it works on ball and off ball. I think every player's been platformed profile perfectly. So yeah, big up to him. I think it's a very good lineup.
Yeah, I think the lineup's mega, and I think it's very balanced as well.
Yeah,
It appears to
everyone's
be
in their
very,
best
very
positions. I think. I don't think it's a shape that we've necessarily seen too much this year with like the sole striker situation rather than like the 4-2-2. But it's like a variant of it, and I do really like it.
Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
my!
Oh
Hello,
my God. Zoom B.
crazy. Have my
Yeah,
close
that
up.
fucking Daily Mail website is just fucking finished in it with all the
Daily
ads.
fail.
It's crazy. Yeah, smash these likes up, chat, if you've not done so already. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat, man. Can we get Cambiasso instead of Livramento? I mean, you could potentially get him, but then again, like you do probably need an English player, bro. Unless you was to get Morgan Gibbs White in the middle. I don't know if you could do that and then get Cambiasso, but yeah, you do need to be looking a little bit at the homegrown players and getting 1 or 2 in, really, because the thing is, it's not even this year. Like we can get away with it this year, but like we're getting close. And you look at next year, Ake might leave next year, so then you're taking another homegrown player out. You're going to replace him with another foreign. Like you're getting to the point where homegrown players now we have to be looking at who are the best homegrown players in the Prem. Yeah, and we need to be looking at them and saying we need to go in quite strong for them, because we're losing a lot of. And this is why for me again, Livramento is just, if you can get him in, you need to get him in, because it's just a like for like with Walker. You're taking one out, you're putting one in. Yeah, I mean that's what we need to be doing, and it's only going to get harder because when Ake leaves next year, providing he leaves next year. Are you going to go and get a Branthwaite? Is he going to be available? Probably not. Are you going to go and get a Mark Gray? Is he going to be available? Probably not. So it's only going to get harder as the years go on. It's only going to get harder, this homegrown thing.
Yeah, and we touched on it earlier. When Savio and Kusanov both become over 21 players, well, and they become non-homegrown options as well. Like some actual, it's not as easy as just get rid of the older players, because by that point you can even get rid of Bernardo and Gundo and Kova and Akanji. You're going to have some pretty serious conversations at that point, because now you're looking on to, I know Nunes has his detractors, but then you're going to be looking at having to, do we need to move on like Nunes at that point? Will we need to move on like Ruben Diaz at that point? Will we need to, Roger will be in his 30s by that point, we have to seriously consider bringing in a Roger replacement. It's going to become a really tricky conversation if too many non-homegrown players are targeted. And obviously the club knows this, like they're not idiots. And it's even harder to satisfy the Champions League rules without making your squad smaller. And then you're getting less minutes for players who need the minutes. And then by that point, we'll be getting to the stage where, if Hayes is still at the club and Echeverry, maybe even Barr, and they'll also be moving into the non-under 21 area. So we are. It's a question that does need to be addressed. We are seriously walking this tightrope of this homegrown, this non-homegrown maximum, essentially.
Which is why it would not surprise me in the slightest if City did go to Newcastle and pay up.
Yeah, at that point, you are paying a premium to make sure you don't get into issues down the line, because you're investing in that. You can think about it as, okay, £50 million for the player and £30 million for the privilege of that player being a homegrown option. That is how valuable it is to City at this point. The issue is other clubs will know that as well. If we can figure it out, obviously City can figure it out, but also other clubs will figure it out. Or have figured it out, sorry.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, if you are Forest or you are Newcastle and City knocking on the door for Morgan Gibbs White or Livramento, you're going to the top bracket of price.
Yeah.
And then when City say, "Oh, don't be ridiculous," they'll say, "All right, then go and sign the backup. Who's the next best English right back after that? Reece James, who plays about 20 games a season. Go and sign him then." And City going to go, indeed. "No." Who else? Trent. Oh, well, he's just joining Liverpool. He's just joining Real Madrid. So you and I've said this for time. City this year are just going to have to pay the cost. They're going to have to pay the price. Like, we've been in a position over the last 3, 4, 5 years where we've been such a strong team that we've been going to clubs and we've been negotiating hard. That Gvardiol deal, man, we negotiated for ages and got the price that in the end City wanted. Yeah, we've negotiated on these deals and negotiated. The reality of the situation is that we don't have that power as much this year because one, the squad's depleted, and when we're speaking, and obviously clubs know that the squad's depleted because we won one game in 14. So when you're knocking on teams' door, they're saying you need to pay up, otherwise you're going to be cooked again. And when it comes to homegrown players, as not been said, we know it as fans that we need homegrown players. The City team and the board obviously know it, and so do the rivals, and so do the selling clubs. And if I'm Newcastle, I ain't selling Livramento for anything less than 70 million, and that's the lowest. Yeah, to be honest with you, I'd be asking 85 mil if I was Newcastle. I'd be asking 85 million quid if I was Newcastle for Livramento. I'd say you need a right back. Yeah, you need English players. This is possibly the best English right back right now. Yeah, he's certainly in the conversation, I suppose. 85. Otherwise, don't knock on my door, mate. Yeah, you're the ones that are begging for the player. We ain't begging to sell. And it's the same with a lot of these teams. So for me, you just got to pay it, man. It is what it is. Like, who gives a shit? Like,
yeah. Oh, hello. Let me know, chat. Can you still hit? Oh, never mind. Oh, he's back. Sorry, you just massively lagged for me.
Oh, am I back now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, but you just got to pay the price. Basically, we're not in that position to be doing the.
Yeah, we're in a weak bargaining position. Yeah. Everyone knows what we need. We know what we need. You're saving money on other signings, like just like using the midfield example. Gibbs White would be an overpay around 70 million. The way I'm trying to rationalize it is, okay, but look at how much money we're saving on a player like Shirky. Even a player like Reinders, I think we're getting them at less than what their actual quality is. So therefore, we can afford to spend a little bit more and overpay on another player because net, it balances out. You know, if you said, let's say for argument's sake, you can get Shirky for around 30 million and you can get Gibbs White for around 70. I know that there's arbitrary numbers, but let's just say, and someone said, right, for £100 million, you can get Shirky and Gibbs White. Is that a good deal? I think most people would say yes. So that's the way I'm trying to rationalize it, by looking at it from a net.
Yeah, looking at the total cost rather than just looking at individual prices.
Yeah.
That
makes
if you bought a house, yeah, and they said, oh, you're going to buy this shed in a garden for £250,000, you'd be like, that sounds like a dodgy deal, that. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't think that's value for money, innit? But if they said, but you get free, yeah, a 3-bedroom detached house with it, you go, oh, okay, then cool.
Yeah, that's amazing value.
That's amazing value.
Gimme. Yeah, where do I sign? Yeah. Give me the keys.
But if it is a shed, then you're going to be like, bro, that's quite a lot of money for a shed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's about the total package, you know?
Yeah, a bundle, a midfield bundle.
Yeah, exactly, the bundle. You say you don't want any overpriced deals. My question to you, though, Deep Seek, would be, one, why do you really care? Like, is it really that deep? Like, it's not your money, it's not my money, it's the club's money, it's the Sheikh's money. Who cares, innit? And two, like, if you don't want to pay 75, 80 million for Livramento, what are you going to do? Who are you going to sign? Bearing in mind that we need English players.
It only becomes deep at the point at which it makes it so that if City overpay, they then can't get this other player. But as we've just discussed then, it's about a bundle. And if we are underpaying, like, how much really do we think a player of like Shirky's quality? I know we haven't really discussed him. How much he certainly is not a player who should be like around 100 million less than Wirtz. Like, that is not the quality jump between the two. So if City were happy to sign Wirtz, or City fans were happy to sign Wirtz for 100, 120, then signing Shirky for like a quarter of that is a ridiculous underpayment. Therefore, we can afford to do a slight overpayment elsewhere. It's not a problem, really. It would have been a problem if, and again, that's why I wasn't big on it. It would have been a problem if we were spending 130 million on Wirtz, and now we want to spend 80 million on Gibbs White, and now we want to spend 80 million on Livramento. All of a sudden, do we have room for Reinders? Do we have room for a left back? But these aren't the figures that we're talking about now. We're going for a cheaper alternative. So it does matter if resource allocation is a problem from like a PSR perspective. But it looks like we're pursuing a slightly better value for money situation. So I wouldn't be too upset about it. You just got to accept at this stage. We've had the conversation. We need to sign homegrown players. And if that involves a premium, then there's nothing we can do about it. It's not, well, I don't want to overpay. Right, but do you want to play in the Premier League? Like, do you want to have a squad that satisfies Premier League rules? Obviously, we do. Again, right now, we're at 14. We want to bring in minimum 3 non-homegrown players. So we're at the limit. We're saying we can't sell Kovacic. What if Gundogan doesn't end up leaving? What if Bernardo doesn't end up leaving for whatever reason? I don't know. It's a tricky situation, and it's just something that we have to cope with and accept.
Yeah. No, big up, man. Yeah, I mean, again, you're not really. That's not really a solution, bro.
We aren't. Yeah,
that's just not a solution. Like, I'm asking for solutions. If you don't want to pay 75, 80, 85 for Livramento, I'm asking you to give us legitimate other options, bearing in mind that we need a quality right back because we're replacing the greatest right back of Premier League era, and we also need homegrown players. Like, we need, like, if you're going to disagree with it, you need to provide solutions. You can't just say we need to be like Real Madrid. We need solutions. Who can we go and get who's a quality right back that you don't want to overpay for? So you need, that player needs to be available at a good price. Otherwise, the argument is fundamentally flawed. And that we also need to settle and deal with our homegrown thing. That's the facts, bro. And I'm sorry, if you think you're going to get Spence out without overpaying, this is Tottenham Hotspur. So again, that doesn't work because you're going to overpay for it because it's Tottenham Hotspur and it's Daniel Levy. If you think we're going to get him out for a good price or not overpay, that's not legit.
Yeah, I also don't think he's as good. So
no, it's not as good. It's not as good.
That's the other concern.
It's not as good.
If you get Livramento, maybe this isn't the way to think about it, but you know, how old is Livramento?
22.
22. How old was Walker? I know they aren't the same, but how old was Walker when he started to be a little bit stinky? Was he 32?
I think it was towards the back end of the treble year.
How old was he then?
I think he would have been. Yeah, I think he would have been 32.
Right. So the way you've got this is the other way to try to rationalize it. If you bring a Livramento now, you could have him for 10 years.
Yeah,
quite realistically. And again, maybe this isn't the way to think about it, but for people who are struggling with that fee, would you pay 8 million quid a year? This on the upper end. Would you pay 8 million a year to have Livramento at your club based on transfer fee? I know it's not how it works, but just trying to rationalize it.
Yeah,
I would. I think that's a good deal.
Yeah,
and if he only ends up staying for 5 years, he's 27. He's in the prime of his year. You can prime of his career. Sorry, you can sell him for a potential profit at that point, maybe depending on football inflation. So it's a good deal. That would be a good deal. IMO.
Yeah. Yeah, we got here we go, guys. Manchester City. Here we go for Fabrizio Romano.
Oh.
18-year-old striker Mamadou Sangare will undergo a medical at Manchester City, set to sign a long-term deal as Man City's strategy is clear, sign and develop top young talent. Sangare leaves PSG on a free. There you go.
Nice.
I think this guy's actually meant to be pretty good as well. He scored pure goals in the Youth League, Champions League, so we'll see it. But I don't know.
That's what it is, though, isn't it? He will almost definitely not play a single minute for the senior side. Surely. He's gonna be in the the EDS or the
it'll be a Divin Mabama situation. We'll sign him up, play him for a year. It'll be mint, and then we'll sell him for 15 million. It's like easy cash.
Yeah, or he'll like go to Girona or wherever. He's one of those. It's nice. But that's probably more of a financial signing than a player signing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I hear it. Unless he turns out to be absolutely world class.
Yeah, unless he comes in, dethrones Haaland and like puts him in his place. It's like
facts.
This is my
let me do these super chats before we wrap it up, man. Smash these likes up as well, people, if you've not done so already. Shout out to Ahmad, says, I only see rumours. Where is Here We Go, Brett? We've not got it yet. We've got the Sangare Here We Go, but we've not got the Ait-Nouri Here We Go. I think for me, I think Tijani Reinders is pretty much a done deal. from like what I'm reading online and seeing the rumours. I think that's a pretty much done deal, just like, you know, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. Cherki, I think, isn't a done deal, but it's close. Probably like, you know, that I reckon that could get done on maybe. I think Tijani Reinders today or tomorrow. Yeah. And I think Cherki maybe like Thursday, Friday. And I think Ait-Nouri, yeah, maybe back end of the week, early next week. But tic-tac, innit? Tic-tac, chat. We're running out of time, mate. 8 days left, Bray. 8 days left. So, yeah, get these deals done rapid, please. Echeverry could stay if Gibbs White doesn't come. Yeah, he'd be in at under 21s as well, wouldn't he? So, he wouldn't be a squad member.
For the Premier League, yeah.
Yeah, but you could keep... So, that's one way you could solve it. You keep Kovacic as the DM, as the fourth DM. So, then you've got Rodri, Tijani Reinders, and Nico playing in that double pivot bottom. Kovacic is the fourth, and then Echeverry could be another member up top. You could do that, right?
You could. Yeah. I still don't think that he's ready to be getting even more than 10 starts next season.
Who, Echeverry?
Yeah.
Well, that's fine, isn't it? Because then you've got Bob as the number as an option. You've got Savinho, Doku, and all that. So, yeah, he'd be like an emergency option. But it's one way of having enough numbers where injuries won't cook you. Yeah, I mean, if Echeverry is starting week in, week out, it's either because he's mega or because we've got serious injury problems, at which point it's fucking irrelevant anyway. But again, one problem you've got with that is that you are kind of kicking the can down the road again for when Kovacic then leaves. You're then probably going to need to look at a homegrown player again, you know? So, yeah, it's a tricky one, man. To navigate this homegrown thing is tricky. We kind of got a bit lucky, really, because obviously we had Walker, we had John Stones. You know, we've had all these, we've got Foden. You got all these players. Sterling, obviously, a couple of years ago, we were clear. We had no issues whatsoever. And we've slowly let them leave. And obviously, we're letting Grealish leave. We might be letting Stones leave. And we're looking around going, hang on a minute. What the fuck are we doing? Like, what are we buying?
We tried to get Bellingham. We tried to get Rice. Ultimately, they didn't want to join. So the club were obviously aware of it. But yeah.
Yeah, no facts. Bill Chris says, give United shit a cheeky £30 million bid for Mainu. Well, I mean, I mean, he's homegrown, isn't it? So you could get him, but I'm not sure whether we do that, bro.
No,
but yeah, big up to you, bro.
I'd like that,
yeah, I've always said I rate him, man. Like, I think he's a good player, and I think under Pep he'd be fucking amazing.
I agree.
And he's not signed a new contract. Who knows, man? We'll see. Shout out Anthony says we could do a swap deal for Newcastle. Yeah, so I imagine you mean Grealish. With as much respect as possible, I don't really think Grealish has that much value as a player in terms of you know, like us offering them.
We can offer another English right back though, so
yeah, we could definitely do that.
Sweeten the deal, yeah.
I just don't think Grealish really offers us much in that negotiation. With all due respect, he's on 300 grand a week. He's hardly played since Christmas, and yeah, they've already got Gordon, who's better than him.
He's a bit of a burden to a club signing him unless he's willing to take a massive pay cut. And if you're him, why would you?
McAtee, you could do, yeah.
Yeah,
you could do McAtee. He's probably got more value than Grealish as a negotiation tactic. Yeah, facts. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. I'd just say just go pay the cash, innit? Haaland sold in 2028. Get out of here, man. Sangare, here we go. Come on, bro.
Yeah,
and big up for Andy as well. Says Jaden Bogle from Leeds, English and 24. I have no idea what that is.
Good name though, Bogle. Great name.
Oh, is it Bogle? Yeah.
Oh.
All right, yeah. Big up Andy. Yeah. What has he said in that? In Elliot Anderson, hear me out. It cost though. It'll cost dollar bills. This is the thing. English players are just worth bare cash now because of these rules and that. You know what I mean? Because you need the players in.
Yeah, like they are inherently overpriced to Premier League clubs because they have more value.
Yeah, facts. 100%. Now, big up for the supers, guys. Appreciate the donations. Right, before we wrap it up, Thatcher's just tweeted, Leon should receive an initial offer from Manchester City for Rayan Ait-Nouri early this week, and all parties hope to conclude a deal this week. So we might be getting, guys, a here we go bomber on Rayan Ait-Nouri this week. We will see. Ait-Nouri, if you've just joined, before we leave, give you an update. Ait-Nouri, David Ornstein today, and Jack Gorn both confirming that City are in the talks with Wolves to sign Ait-Nouri. They hope to get a deal concluded by the end of this window so he can play in the Club World Cup. We're looking 40 to 50 million quid on that one. Rayan Ait-Nouri, obviously, we just heard there, hopefully get done by the end of the week. And Tijani Reinders, I think he'll be probably the first signing. We might get him in the next couple of days, actually. So I think they'll be the 3 that we get done before the Club World Cup. And I think anything else, goalkeepers, right backs, maybe another midfielder, I think they're going to be in the next transfer window after the Club World Cup, man. So I think that's where we're at. That's our overall summary of the situation, isn't it? So
yeah, but that is a wonderful start. Again, nothing's happened yet. Nothing's set in stone, blah, 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 blah. But you at least want to be linked with, as fans, as people outside looking in, you at least want to have for some reassurance. You want the names to come out. The names that are coming out are good. The journalists who are being linking us with them are good. Like, these aren't bums. Like, it's all seen, it's Fabrizio, etc., etc. Yeah, so supposedly that could be a left back sorted, could be a more attacking midfielder sorted, more all round midfielder sorted. We now need to, as I say, focus on that right back and establish what on earth is happening with Edison, and then we'll be good to go nearly for next season already. And the window hasn't even properly opened yet. So,
nah, facts. All right, then, guys. If you've not done so already, smash the likes up, people. 1.4K in the building. Let's get these likes to at least 500. Come on, man. We need 70 people. 70 people at a 1.4K to smash the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. Obviously, make sure you guys are subscribed to Nobbins. You'll have all the videos coming out. No pressure, bro, but you've got 3 to do pretty quickly. So get that GPU working, bro. He's got 3 videos to do the next week. Mrs. Nobbins is not going to be seeing Nobbins this week. He's busy. So, yeah, we'll be looking forward to those videos. Make sure you guys are subscribed to his channel. Make sure you subscribe to this one. I'll redirect you over to Saeed. We've got midday live. So go over there, spam LB Raid in the chat. And release the Sangare video.
That ain't never happened. I've still not even made the Vitor Hayes one because I still don't know if he's going to be even playing for City. But yeah. Hey, Echeverry's out. Go watch that. Yeah. And I'll be doing an Ask Nobbins upload later today. So you got any final questions for me? Go leave a comment on my most recent upload. And this week, expect one. In fact, that'd be interesting because if, let's say, we're signing all 3 of these players, can I just, before we leave, can I ask the chat which would they prefer me to try to work on first? Which video should I work on first, chat? An okay question to ask. Ait-Nouri.
Can I give my opinion?
But of course you can. Ait-Nouri, Shirky, Reinders, they're the 3 names we're linked with most strongly. Which one should I work on first?
I think, and I know the chat's going to say Turkey. I think you should do Ait-Nouri because we've not had a proper left back at this football club for the best part of a decade.
Yes.
But the Turkey's winning, clearly. But I think it should be Ait-Nouri. You guys in the chat, respectfully, you guys are going with the shiny new toy, innit? That's what you're doing, chat, You ain't thinking properly. You're not thinking legitimately here. Yeah, you're thinking shiny new toy, Turkey, can do step overs and that. Yeah, you ain't thinking properly here. Yeah. What we need to know is we need to know how having a proper left back at our football club is going to change this football club. Yeah. So, chat, disappointed in your opinion there, but obviously, democracy. So Nobbins gets to decide. But I'm saying it should be Ait-Nouri, bro.
That's good to know. Good to know. To be fair, I guess it should be which one do I realistically think is going to be signed first.
Well, in that case, probably it should be Reinders, I reckon.
Reinders, all right. Reinders or Shirky, probably, isn't it? One of those two is going to get signed first, we think.
All right. So I lose. Cool.
Maybe.
All right. Right. See you on midday live chat. Let's go.